Alright everyone, welcome back to GX Slim Casting. I don't have a name for my casting yet because this is actually my second attempt at casting. But now I'll be casting the finals of the DotaFire Community Cup for this weekend. We have Josh Tabak, a renowned North American team often seen in the Sunday Evening Cup series that NA Dota runs. And we're going to see No Pants Party, team put together by a good friend of mine, Blitz. He'll be running there as Mr. Sleepyhead, or My Sleepyhead. I just finished casting the semifinals match between the current Radiant team, No Pants Party, and another team of a friend of mine called Com2. I briefly played with that team. It's fun to cast for my first casting event as we now start to head into the game here. Again, please feel free to write down suggestions for me. This is new to me. Willing to accept advice, although I might flame you. No flaming. And let's jump into the draft here. First band pick will go to No Pants Party. We're likely to see some standard bands from them, although they are first pick, so they might try to leave some power heroes in there. But Darkseer, pretty standard ban. And Naga, the response from Josh Tabak. Might see something here like a Lycan. Now last game, the team that was playing against No Pants Party tried to ban out the anti-mage in the bans and pick a Morphling just to secure a stronger late game, but got picked apart in the early game. So nice attempt there, but it didn't work out. The more experienced team, No Pants Party, went with the standard bans and was able to build up a gold advantage slowly over time, and eventually overcome them and win the game. A CK ban coming out. I wonder if that's a targeted ban at one of Josh Tabak's players, because you don't normally see an early CK ban. This is my first time casting JT Dota, and actually my second time casting period, so I'm not entirely sure if that was a targeted CK ban, but could be a respect ban. Or maybe there's a super secret pocket strategy being put together here by Blitz. It could just be that they were banning second pick heroes because they have first pick, as we see another first pick hero banned out by Josh Tabak, who have the second pick. A lot of strong heroes left in the pool: Leshrac, Prophet, Invoker. Rubik's still available. I wouldn't be surprised to see a first pick Rubik coming here out of No Pants Party as soon as the band stage is done, because apparently they run a pretty strong Rubik. And there's a Leshrac ban, another second pick hero getting banned out by the first pick Radiant. And as JT Dota thinks about the third and final ban of this first ban stage, we're going to look to see how this game shapes out. If I can go through the players a bit, not quite sure of the players on JT Dota. I believe Smurf runs carry, Rolo runs support. I'm not entirely sure about the others. Whereas the more known team and team I'm more familiar with, No Pants Party, you see Blitz, the captain there. He was in a support role last game, so he might be trying out for support for that team these days, but I'm used to seeing him in the solo mid. We have Mikey there, who played an off-lane Shadow Fiend in the previous game, played it really well and almost won the game on his own. He might go for a semi-carry kind of role. Lust in the jungle, possibly. Egum as a support, or Suicide solo. And Frankie, also known as Infinity, usually plays a hard carry as well. Last game, I believe we saw Infinity soloing mid with the Rubik, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen again. And JT's got me on the edge of my seat wondering about their first two picks.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Morphling banned out by them, so they might be trying a similar strategy, or maybe teams are just sick of dealing with Morphlings after what happened at the International. Just Morphling, Morphling, Morphling. The Chinese teams love him, a lot of US teams love him. Just a super strong hero. And a first pick TA coming out for JT Dota. That's a little worrisome, as there's still a lot of TA counters out there. But TA and Invoker. Josh Tabak really looking for strong mid-game. You might see that TA in a protected tri-lane, an offensive tri-lane, with the Invoker mid. Could even see TA mid against the Rubik, which is a good matchup for TA, in my opinion, with the Invoker doing some sort of off-lane solo. But we'll see. The lanes are still fairly flexible. That Rubik will most definitely be going mid. Last game I predicted he'd be running as a support, but this game, after seeing what happened last game with the Rubik, he's not running as a support. Another early Bounty Hunter pick. They did this last game, and the Bounty Hunter did quite well. He even leveled up quickly early game. He was not allowed, or he was not disallowed to gain experience, despite heavy sentry warding by Con 2. So we'll see if Eggum runs that Suicide Bounty Hunter lane again. Most likely will. And we'll see if JT Dota has a better time keeping him away from level 6. I think he hit level 6 at about the 6-minute mark, or 6 and change last game, which is really good for a Suicide Solo who's harassed out of the lane with sentries and whatnot. And an early anti-mage. It's most likely going to be, I want to say, a Frankie anti-mage, but seeing him on the Rubik last game makes me think that he might be on Mikey this game. I don't know, a lot of flexible players for the Radiant this game. Hard to predict where they're going to end up. Of note that there's no hero yet picked for Blitz. Of note because he's my friend. And the third pick, final pick of the first round for JT Dota will be, we'll see momentarily. As we tick now into reserve time, which doesn't mean a whole lot right now. JT Dota possibly adding suspense to this caster as well as the enemy team, or just really deliberating on what they want their third pick to be. I don't know if they've decided if they're putting that Templar in a tri-lane and the Vulcan in mid, or if they're still trying to see how it happens based on the hero picks. That could make them, it could give them pause for this third pick here, because this third pick might solidify their lanes, or they might want to keep it flexible. One thing to note is that, with the exception of Lycan, a standard ban, there's been no bans or picks on jungle heroes. We know Lust runs a good jungle hero. Not really too familiar with JT Dota's standard pick process. They go Tide, so another strong mid-game hero. Really able to control those early team fights. With the Tide Ravage, the Invoker spells, and the Traps to Chase, they could have a really strong outing in the mid-game, which is not what a Bounty Hunter wants to see, nor an anti-mage. NPP is going to have to do something here to respond to this early and mid-game strength. Because that Bounty Hunter really needs to get money during the mid-game, because he's generally not going to get it early game. Mid-game it's got to come from tracks, but right now they're going to have a hard time winning mid-game team fights. They ban out the Chen, because they're a little bit worried about too much of a strong early and mid-game from JT. And the Enchantress ban is the response. So no uncontested jungle. There's still an Enigma out there. Not sure if that's going to be a ban, or if not, it could be picked up by one team. I don't necessarily see it being picked up by NPP, just because JT has a lot of ways to deal with it. JT Dota could pick it, but that would be putting them in borderline Wombo combo territory. And I'm not a big fan of the Wombo combo, because it means you can only team fight once every 2 or 3 minutes early. And it looks like, based on the Templar Assassin and Invoker picks, they want to fight more often than that. That SD ban out from No Pants Party, mostly because they don't want to see their anti-mage getting disrupted. I mean, SD's a great hero. Early game sets up a lot of combos. Late game can be great at protecting allies with those defensive disrupts, but also just a pain in the ass for anti-mage all throughout the game. Remember, I've actually seen an anti-mage go without skilling his feedback deep into the game because he was worried about the SD making images of him that mana burn. And there's that Enigma. So they do pick it up just to have some semblance of a team of mid-game team fight here from NPP, but with all the other main junglers banned, this could give them a great gold advantage early in the game, which could help their mid-game. They're not going to be getting much gold from that Bounty Hunter, and that anti-mage is going to need protection to get his. So hopefully they'll offset it with some farming in the jungle by Enigma and some clutch ganks. Now I guess we'll see if Josh Tabak is okay with giving them that gold lead from having the jungler, or if they're going to try to do something to possibly contest it. Maybe they'll pick some push heroes to pressure the towers a bit more. Oh, and then we see a Shadow Shaman. Probably going to be run as a support Shadow Shaman, so we're not going to see an early level 6 out of him for pushing, but the level 6 will come. And so will the wards, which is going to be dangerous for towers. There's not a whole lot of push or anti-push on either team here. I mean, JT Dota has a lot of mid to late game anti-push with Invoker, and NPP has some early game anti-push with Rubik. And you could argue that Enigma's a decent pusher, but without someone else to combo with, it's going to be hard for him to take towers on his own. Probably going to see as more of a ganking and farming Enigma, just to give him a gold advantage early and to try to get that AM some room to farm. No Pants Party eating into the reserve time here. Pick up a Venomancer, one of the strongest support heroes in the game. Really good counter to Templar Assassin as well. Just that poison ticks. He's got 2 different ways of poisoning you, 3 different when he gets his ult. That just really eats away at TA's refraction and makes her killable. TA, again, her main strengths are doing a lot of damage and being unkillable. But if refraction's down, she's killable. That also gives some early game and mid game team fight and gank presence for No Pants Party, who really need it to get their AM and Bounty Hunter rolling. The AM needs the room to farm, which Veno and Enigma can help provide, and the BH is going to need someone to kill heroes mid game so we can get that track gold up. And Tiny will be the last pick for Josh Tabak Dota. It's a little bit of a surprising pick. We're probably going to see something along the lines of a offensive tri-lane, possibly Tiny, Shadow Shaman, and Tide Hunter, or swapping out the Tiny for a TA. Depending on that, we might see a Suicide Lane Invoker or a Mid Invoker. Invoker seems to be heading bottom, so it looks like it will be a Suicide Lane Invoker. Now, he has not opted for a Blades of Attack, which to me indicates that he might be going Exort, or he could just be leaving his options open. I mean, Circlet, just a decent stat item in general early. Not as cost effective as an Iron Branch, but it doesn't make him commit to a Phase Boots build. Or a Drum build. Gives him the option. You see the quick bottle build here on the TA, so that's going to be a mid TA. Tabako is going to be running that. The team captain of the similarly named team will be running that solo mid TA. We're going to see that Tiny, Rasta, and Leviathan offensive tri-lane top. Now, if we do see a Bounty Hunter top Suicide solo, that's either going to mean a lot of farm for a Tiny or a lot of dead Bounty Hunter. Oh, I'm a little bugged out Enigma looking kind of weird over there. A Hatchet, or wow, I can't believe I just used a Han term. I don't even play Han when I use a Han term. A Quelling Blade up from the Anti-Mage. I'd never like to see that personally, but I guess Mikey just wants to secure that farm. He might have even predicted the Exort Invoker. That would be next level shit if he predicted that, but either way, he should be able to farm with the Venomancer and Enigma, protecting him or ganking for him. I'm not sure how else the Radiant can lane this other than having the Suicide Bounty Hunter top, but that Bounty Hunter is going to be put to quite a challenge. No early Sentry Wards up for the Dire, so maybe he'll get some quick levels, but I don't know if he'll get a 6.5 minute level 6 like he did last time. I think JT Dota will do a better job of preventing that, unless they're just content to see Tiny farm. But either way, it should be a winning lane for JT Dota. We're going to see that solo off-lane Invoker. Still have yet to see which orbs he goes. That might be a tough lane for him against a protected Anti-Mage, or the Anti-Mage might not even need too much protection if he gets off to an early start. A rotation here as the tri-lane's running bottom now. I guess they do want to put that Invoker in the safe lane. They probably decided that Invoker against the Bounty Hunter is a winning lane for the Invoker. Might as well put the tri-lane against the AM to prevent him from farming. So a nice lane switch here from JT Dota. TA is just going to hang around mid, wait for her block. She can't really go to contest the early game warding, just because if she misses her block, it'll put her at a huge disadvantage in mid lane. Positioning in the mid lane is really important. The other lanes, blocking is either not really useful or even damaging, but mid lane blocking is very important to get that creep wave up on your hill, so you could be from the defensive position, give your opponent the uphill miss chance, just let you out CS him. A little bit of spamming coming out from both teams, deciding where to put wards and deciding where to counter ward. So an interesting ward spot here behind the trees. Don't often see that, but that'll likely block this camp, and it'll give vision on the rune. Is it vision? It's pretty close. It's hard to tell. The counter ward coming up here from the Radiant just whiffs the counter ward. Not going to be able to see that ward unless they eat some trees, but no reason to assume there's a ward there. So it will be a Quaswex Invoker. That Circlet will become a Drums. He'll probably pick up a Phase Boots a little bit later. Or it could be a defensive Exort Invoker. I mean, you can go Cold Snap first either way. That means you're not going to be able to contribute Sunstrikes early game, at least not for the first couple of levels. Your first Sunstrike will be available at level 4, and it'll be a low damage Sunstrike. About 100 damage at level 1, I believe. Defensive build here on the Anti-Mage with the point and blink first. We'll see if he levels up his other skills or if he puts more into stats in a DK burning fashion. And this is going to be a support Rubik coming out of Blitz here. So they're actually going to run that Venomancer solo mid against the TA. A lot of people like to do this just as a hard counter to TA. It's not really a winnable lane for TA. He has to really, really outplay that Venomancer to beat him in mid. And you could see Frankie just being super aggressive trying to burn away those refraction charges. Oh, the bottle already purchased by Tabako. It's going to be on this way with the chicken. This lane could come down to who rune controls better. With a jungler in Lust for the No Pants party, they might have more of a good time rune controlling. Here we see Blitz stacking and pulling the unwarded Radiant camp here. And Tabak Dota is just content to watch the tiny farm while they protect him with 2. A lot of engagement here from Eggum and the Invoker. We'll see if Eggum goes for this kill here. He does have that quick damage from the Janata, but a lot of HP up on the Invoker. The Invoker does not fight back, though. Cold Snap and cooldown. He just does not feel comfortable fighting back. And that's a first blood for Eggum. Now we saw that Invoker actually invoke a Ghost Walk, but didn't use it in time. I guess he realized the fade time was going to be too long. But it doesn't really seem like invoking it was the best decision there. If he invoked it earlier, he could have survived. Or if he had just waited for the Cold Snap and stayed around the creeps, so the creeps would aggro on the Bounty Hunter, he might have had a chance with the mini stuns from the Cold Snap. But a first blood there, nonetheless. Now, when you see a Suicide solo Bounty Hunter getting first blood, all of a sudden the confidence level just increases for your whole team, as we see, as predicted, the jungle hero preventing the regen from going to Tabako, which is going to really hurt him against that Venomancer. Venomancer now with 2 points up in Poison Sting, so he really wants to go for that damage over time. Not necessarily concerned with warding right now, because he's not going to be doing a lot of roaming. Just dedicating himself to shutting down the TA. A noble pursuit, nonetheless. We see Creep Camp successfully pulled here by Blitz. We'll give him some experience. He's not that far ahead of the tri-lane. Tiny leading the way in CS, followed shortly by Frankie. Now, Venomancer is one of the best supports in the game, and usually is run as so, but he can actually run a mean solo. I mean, he just does a lot of free damage with the passive, and damage over time is not what any Lanaya wants to see. It's her one weakness. Deny coming out from the Bounty Hunter, who's running a bottle, which indicates that they really want to prevent this Templar Assassin from getting the runes. If we have the Bounty Hunter checking the top rune, the Enigma checking the bottom rune, that TA will be shut down. No Pants Party treating this as if it's Tabako +4 rather than Josh Tabak Dota. Some invis bottling here from Eggum. Just going to harass the Invoker, try to keep him out of lane. Now he can do this because he's got the level advantage and he's got that poor man's shield. It won't take a whole lot of damage from the Invoker's attacks, especially as a Quas Invoker with no damage items. Although an early 2 points in Shuriken Toss, you probably won't see him putting more points into that for a little while. I personally wouldn't have leveled it up to 2 right away because he's not going to get a kill with it right now. And he's doing a lot of Janata harassing, which to me indicates leveling up Janata earlier would have been good. But this, not even sure what this guy's name is. Burger? Raichu's you? I don't know. Some sort of reference to Raichu there and Pokemon choosing. But the track is up. 4 minutes and 20 seconds. That early first blood for Eggum, just such a dominating presence now. He can track the Invoker. Invoker has no escape mechanism. Invoker's going to be forced to hide under his tower. Eggum can just harass him away, using the bottle to regen up. So it looks like an early 1 lane top for No Pants Party. Pretty convincingly 1 lane mid, although there is some levels up on the TA. Not a whole lot of CS. She's 14 and 5 compared to Frankie's 21 and 8. So definitely more CS to this Venom match. It's going to be hard for that TA to take over mid game, as TAs like to do. Right now, it seems the best hope for Josh Tabak Dota is in this bottom lane, where they are running that offensive tri-lane. Tri-lane trying to prevent them from getting free gold and experience. But here we have Lust rotating down. Is he going to go for a stun? Rolo gripping Mikey, but just too much damage from that stun and toss. Mikey blinks out. Blitz picks up the kill with the instant cast Fade Bolt. And now Mikey's going to tango up and come back in, try to pick up another couple of kills. He's able to do pretty good damage with that feedback early. That's 2 quick kills now. Although we do see a rotation here from the TA, but she's going to be too little too late. Only level 5, can't chase people down with track. And now, leaving her lane, that's going to be an even more of a disadvantage for her, as we see Frankie just continuing to free farm. He's got a DD bottled, so he can almost kill that TA at will when she comes back. She's in a very tough position. Not sure what she can do to win that lane. Now, Mikey getting aggressive for that creep kill. He knows that the Tiny can't really prevent him from doing anything. He's got no mana, not a lot of HP. Tiny not going to be willing to trade hits with an AM who's got more HP. As we divert our attention back to top, where Eggum, with low HP, is still harassing that Invoker. Well, holding back on that Windwalk. This might be a bit of a mistake there. If he had Windwalked a little bit earlier, he could have taken a lot less damage from that Cold Snap, but he might be trying to pick off this Invoker. 600 HP and regenerating fast, though. It's going to be very hard for him. Now he's got level 3 in that Shuriken Toss. I gotta say that's definitely a mistake from Eggum. The Shuriken Toss does not scale well. He only got an extra 50 damage from that 3rd level, and just, you know, skilling up the Janata would have been far more efficient, in my opinion. The Tiny here continuing to farm, just trying to be that only hope for JT Dota. Farm Tiny can be tough to deal with, as people could have seen in the eHome versus Orange game at International 2. Where Farm Tiny was able to take out a farmed Morphling. Although, there was a bit of sloppiness that game, but let's not go too far into that. Don't want to make enemies here. Now, Frankie's starting to pressure that mid tower. He's got his wards down to take care of the creeps. And he's just going to try to get, you know, some damage from that siege creep up. Looks like No Pants Party has their eyes on bottom tower. Oh, the lift up and the track. It's going to be a lot of gold for them. 3 people benefiting from the track there. I'm not sure if Lust was in range to get it on the Enigma, but they're going to keep going. With the stuns and direct damage they have, they'll easily take out that Tide. Now, 4 heroes down there and 2 dead for the other side. They might possibly consider pushing. They do have an Enigma who's can make Eidolons in about 30 seconds. They've got a siege creep there. Smurf will rotate back down just to spam some creep waves, but this could be a mistake from Smurf as he's telekinesis. Not thrown backwards, however, it's no big deal as they get the easy kill anyway. Just feeding them a kill there. It's not what you want to see, especially as they're going to get this tower anyway now, quite likely. No rotation coming from the other heroes. Tabako is just eagerly trying to get his farm back with the Veno being missing from his lane. Invoker's just been relegated to protecting runes because that bounty hunter really outplayed him in that top lane. Now that slow, steady push with that siege creep is going to net this tower. Although the Ross is here with a shackle on Mikey. Mikey with a quick blink out after the shackle's cancelled by telekinesis. Well placed from Blitz there. And it looks like No Pants Party's going to back off. The tower will go into deny range with the siege creep. And it's going to be a free deny for Josh Tabak Dota. But NPP playing it safe, giving them the tower deny, which they don't seem to be interested in yet. Let's see if they go for it. I would back off and get that because they're not going to be able to defend it too much longer. Black Hole's up for Enigma. He's probably looking to use it. And yeah, there's that deny. So a lot of gold there denied to the Radiant squad by JT Dota, but safe play from the Radiant side as they realize they have an advantage. No need to throw it away. I am seeing a lot of levels on this Templar Assassin though. Not a whole bunch of gold, only 34 CS in 9 minutes, but she has her phase boots up in a bottle. She's looking for some kills. They're looking for Enigma, but they're going to find Blitz as well. However, Lutz not popping the hole and not breaking refraction with the Eidolons. Really late hole and really late Eidolon focus. He might go down here as well. Mikey's in there to try to do something, but he's not going to be able to get much done. An ult on the Rasta, but he has to back. Blinks in cooldown, however, and an AM kill as well. Then Frankie runs into die. There's just a lot of sloppy play coming out here from... Oh, nice. Big deny there from the Tidehunter. Really sloppy play coming out from No Pants Party, giving away 3 free kills. and tabako Dota getting the deny to prevent them to get the one consolation kill. Meanwhile, this Invoker's trying to farm his way back into the game on top, so a nice little turnaround from Josh tabako Dota, which should be represented in the experience and gold graph, as we see both dipping down, 1k in gold and 2k in the experience, back towards Josh tabako Dota. Oh, however, here Smurf gets picked off, and that's going to be a track kill for 2 heroes benefiting from that track gold. Frankie will be happy about that last hit on the Tiny. Not a lot of gold up on this Templar Assassin. She's going to be wanting to get a lot of gold to get that blink up and damage item, possibly a Daedalus or Desolator, depending on how she feels. Also, depending on which one will help more in the team fights. As discussed before, Josh tabako Dota does have a little bit less in the team fights. Actually, no, they have a lot more in the team fights. They just outplayed and outpicked in that previous fight. But No Pants Party's got to play smarter. They can't run in one by one to the superior team fight. Mikey's trying to get his farm. He's pretty underfarmed, I must say, at this point. 28 CS, 11 minutes for an anti-mage. It's not going to make him a happy camper as Blitz falls to the Colt Snap in mid. Nice TP support here from Josh tabako Dota to defend the tower, although the tower will go down to the Invoker. A late sheep there from the Rasta. Stacking the Tornado there with the Shackle. Not a great move there from Josh tabako Dota. The EMP here, followed by a toss, chasing down the Bounty Hunter, but they're going to back off because that's not a winning chase. Bounty Hunter tracks them out of spite. Just keep vision up. Oh no, is tabako here picked off? They have the dust. Lust with the dust there. Tabako's just going to do what damage he can, but he was picked off. Just too far out into an enemy team that has dust. No Pants Party's going to turn this into a push. They have some Eidolons, they have some HP and mana. They realize 2 heroes are down on the opponent's squad, 2 of their stronger ones, and there's no mana on Tide for the Ravage, so this will be a free tier 2. No 6 up on Rasta yet, so he can't be much use to defend. Josh tabako Dota just kind of stand around and watch the tower die. You gotta wonder if they might be better served getting experience and farm somewhere else. Even the Tiny just watching helplessly from the secret side shop. Or the secret shop, rather. Now he'll return to the bottom to farm, but might find himself face to face with 4 No Pants Party heroes. So wisely he'll just tower hug and wait for a safe time. Enigma runs out on his own, but Tiny can't combo him just because of that malediction. Malefice? Too many malas. So Lust will back off safely. And both teams will return to their respective agendas. For Josh tabako Dota, that's trying to farm your way back in. And for No Pants Party, that's extending your lead. Oh, the mech up now, too. That's going to mean really strong, continuous pushing. Track not in cooldown. There goes the track on the Invoker. It's a good target to track. You want to know where he is so he doesn't catch your whole team in his AoE spells. Oh, a pick off on the Rasta. Defensive Tornado will not help as No Pants Party splits to avoid it. TA is going to try to continue to farm. He wants to play tabako plus 4 Dota, but he's got to get his farm up first. No Pants Party will take advantage. They have that lead and they want to make something out of it. Lead is growing out of control now. Oh, and then another pick off on Smurf. Although he does survive, but there's the black hole from across the woods to get him. One last hit to come out from the Rubik to kill him. A Ravage and a Venomancer ultimate. So a little team fight coming out from both teams. There's the Tornado, which will almost pick off the Bounty Hunter. And the Tide Hunter goes down to a Shuriken. There's that high-level Shuriken at work. And the Rasta just runs into die. I think he was just looking for the lightning there on the EGM. But EGM using the fog as his team gets the kills. Some efficient fighting there, despite mech usage. All of No Pants Party surviving the fight with very little HP. Just efficient use of both HP and mana until Frankie walks in to die for no reason. Okay, Frankie. Templar Assassin almost up to a blink. Though I'm not sure the blink's really going to help all that much. I mean, if there's a big Ravage, she can use the blink to position herself to deal out some damage, but as soon as that Ravage is over, she's got to watch out. She could be in trouble. She's got to drop 1 or 2 supports during the course of that Ravage. Just too much for her to deal with the Venomancer. I see teams early picking that Templar Assassin from time to time, and I never truly understand it. It just seems it's a great hero who I personally love playing in that solo mid role, but if there are counters to her out there, she will have a tough time, especially that Venomancer. You saw last game, Con 2 wanted to pick that TA. They banned that Venomancer first. They picked the TA last. And by first, I mean last ban, but they banned it before picking the TA, which was the point. So some pressure here on the tier 2 bottom for No Pants Party. Image rune used by bounty hunters. Some Eidolons up from Lust. A glyph being popped, but it's not going to be enough to defend the tower. It's kind of a wasted glyph there. JT Dota can do nothing but watch as the illusion scouts for them. Now we're going to see a lately mustered defense by Tabako, but No Pants Party's not going to force it. They got a tower for free. They're going to back off and extend that gold advantage and experience advantage. Although Egam's got his eyes on this Rasta, who's caught way out alone. A quick sheep will keep him alive for now, but the shuriken toss will finish him off. Rasta just no stick charges, not even boots. He's just having a really tough game. And guys, a Rasta running a support role with no gold is really tough. You can see him at 1 and 7 right now. He's just going to have a tough time. So easy to pick off with that low HP pool and low move speed. Pressure on the tier 3 tower here from No Pants Party. They realize JT Dota is sort of on the back foot now, to use an overused expression. Tornado EMP coming out from the Invoker, but No Pants Party will dodge it. A Tide tossed in with the Ravage. Anchor Smash on 2. They're going to pick off 1 quickly. Mech keeping Frankie alive long enough to get his spells off. So good awareness from Frankie there to get his spells off before dying. And that 3-man Gale going to stop them from chasing. Egam looking behind on JT Smurf will pick him off, but he'll lose his life in exchange. So possibly a little greedy there with the Venomancer Gale and ult ticking. Might have been enough to kill Tiny without losing the Bounty Hunter. So slight win here from JT Dota. Remember, when you're behind in golden experience, trading hero kills is a good thing. You get more experience per kill than the other team. It slows down their farming advantage. Although when they have track, it's debatable. Not sure if the Tiny was tracked there. I'm assuming he was because it was the bounty hunter suiciding for it, but no one else getting the gold from that track. Mikey will return to farming. He's almost got a Battle Fury up now. He's about 200 gold away, which is pretty good considering he was underfarmed before. He's done a good job of getting back on track for farm. Not the fastest Battle Fury. Will come in at about 17.5, but not a bad time either. It'll give him the farm he needs. I don't know, Pants Party's not in any rush to end this game quickly. They'll just extend that farm lead, extend the gold and experience lead. It's up to 10,000 in gold now. That's a really big lead. Some might argue that you'd use that to suicide push, but No Pants Party being very patient. As we see a smoke coming out from JT Dota here. Tiny, Leviathan, and Rasta smoked up. Trying to decide where to go. They saw the AM farming there, but they might decide that he's too hard to gank, so they'll just get up some wards and maybe position themselves around the Rubik. Oh, the Rubik comes right into a Tiny stun. There's the Hex, the Toss, the Shackle. That Rubik is in a bad form. So Blitz getting picked off there. Maybe a little overconfident. He was standing on his own observer ward, but he's got to recognize the other team has traps. Usually want to play a little bit safer against traps. Egam initiating wildly and Lust bailing him out with a great black hole on 3. This will be a big fight for No Pants Party here, as they'll get 2 free kills there, save Egam's life, and they're going to pick off another Leviathan here. So this will be the second tracked kill here. I'm not sure if all 3 were tracked because of the track cooldown, but a lot of gold coming out here for No Pants Party. As you can see, just a 2,000 jump there, right there from that fight. So they're doing exactly what Bounty Hunter wants to do. Get those mid-game kills and get that track hold up on people. Egam, a little bit out of position. He'll back off to the rest of his team. And AM just free farming as you see the flares going. So everything going the way of No Pants Party right now is their hard carries free farming, they're winning team fights, and they're getting the track gold. A lot of arcane boots up, mech is up, drums is up. Just a lot of good teamfight items from these hero. And the AM's got his solo farming items. So we'll see Mikey blinking camp to camp farming, although there is an Invoker going for him now, but that's not an Invoker that's going to beat the Anti-Mage one-on-one. He's going to drop the Cold Snap. Mikey will blink away. So Cold Snap cooldown now. Mikey's going to look to be aggressive if he doesn't see another JT Dota hero. And a pause coming out from Frankie. Perhaps a tactical pause as someone was pinging Roshan. We'll see. Just a quick look at items. Bounty Hunter has got a Mythical Hammer up, possibly a BKB or a Deso coming from him soon. Mikey with that Battle Fury for farming. Blitz with the support items and the Arcane and Drums. Lust has got the Blink, which is pretty much what an Enigma needs. BKB would be nice, but it's doing enough on its own right now. And a gem up from Frankie, just using the fact that Veno can go anywhere safely with a gem and Venomancer wards. He never has to put himself in danger to deward. He can just put a ward up to gain vision, and put another ward up to attack the ops wards. So really strong early gem pickup. I would like to see 19 minutes not being considered early for gems, but I'm going to still consider it early. Mikey backing off a bit, possibly baiting. We see Eggum go on this tracked Invoker, and they just burn him down too quick. Blitz coming in there to add the direct damage from the Fade Bolt. Bounty Hunter cackling at the free track gold there. I believe the last hit went to the Bounty Hunter as well, too. Josh Tabak Dota trying to set something up, but Lust revealing them with a nice placed Midnight Pulse. And JT will be forced to back off and try to protect this tower from the safety of the Fog of War. Eggum coming around from behind with Invis. He'll start spamming track, but he'll go straight in. Pops the BKB, that's why. He's not afraid of anyone. If BKB's in, picks off the kill, gets the track hold, and runs back. Lust is going to find himself on the other end of combat with Frankie. They'll back off to a better position. They don't want to fight a Ravage, Tide, and a TA with traps under their tower. Not to mention Tiny with the 2 AoE spells. So they pick off a kill and very patiently back off. A lot of TPs forced from JT Dota just to keep that tier 1 alive. Wards come out. They end up just losing a hero from it. Now this we can see a little bit of Chinese Dota coming out of No Pants Party, if you will, as they're just capitalizing on those small incremental advantages, playing a war of attrition here. They don't get the tier 1, but they get a free kill and some TPs out. And quickly up the lane is Enigma, trying to just pressure their tier 3 mid. Since he knows they all TP top, they can get some quick pressure to the tier 3 mid and have map control on bottom, possibly gank or even Roche. Rolo will be the defense there. Smurf still trying to farm up his Tiny. He doesn't really have a whole lot. 21 minutes in, phase drums. You'd rather see something along the lines of phase drums and Aghanims at 20 minutes, or maybe a phase drums and a Yasha. But Roshan will be the call. Frankie spamming wards. Eidolon's there to tank and deal a little bit of damage, and here comes Mikey with the big right clicks. JT seems to notice it, but Rolo being distracted by the Bounty Hunter pulls the Bounty Hunter away. Tabako and Smurf still going ahead, though, as their teams split up and out of position. But they'll regroup. As the Bounty Hunter with the BKB again just walks in and picks off that underfarmed Shadow Shaman. A bad Black Hole from Lust, instantly canceled by the Tornado, even though it only caught one. And without that Ravage, or without that Black Hole, they could fight. They still have Ravage up. A lot of AoE coming out of NPP right now. Buyback on the Bounty Hunter. He's, I guess, upset about being picked off there, despite the easy kill he got on the Rasta. Lust kind of hiding in the woods there. He does not want to fight without a Black Hole. He's got a blink to get himself out of there. We'll see Frankie dropping the ult on a Tidehunter. Blitz walking into a trap. Quite literally. Mikey clicks onto the Tidehunter for the free kill, but he's leaving Blitz all alone. But Blitz steals Meld and is able to hide from a TA who just does not bring vision. Oh, actually, he has a Dust. I guess he didn't want to stick around and use it. A mistake there from the TA. He could have dusted and one-hit Blitz there, but a little bit too worried about Blitz's support. And they'll go back to Roshing now after the one team fight. Mech to bring them back up in armor and HP. The ward spam will begin again. And JT Dota pinging the tower, or was that NPP? I guess their plan is to go for the tower with that Aegis on the anti-mage. Too late to contest the Roshan. Tornado will scout out the Venomancer, but he'll be away. He'll be fine. He'll get away. Oh no, TA just picks off Frankie there. Possibly lingering a little bit too long there on the bottom, trying to get some jungle farm. And the traps are just too much to deal with. They pick up a gem. This could be a pretty decent pickup here for Josh Tabak Dota. They get a free gem. They'll be able to map control, counter ward. There's a ward here aggressively placed by NPP. So if that's scouted out, there could be some minor gold catch-up. But they have a long way to go. They're behind 15k or more in gold now. Looks pretty bad, closer to 16k. About 9k worth of experience. Oh, they're going to find some offensive wards. One hit them with that Deso on that TA. Possible action up top is Eggum spamming track. You know, you want to get that track up just so you know what's going on in case there's a free kill that presents itself, but with the support there, he's not going to want to dive, and he knows it. Another player rotating over is Tabako. Oh, and he runs right into a Sentry Ward, a Hex, and a lot of damage. So Eggum just a little over-aggressive there, diving the tower when he knew there was 3. The other 2 rotating in to secure the kill. Blitz will be running away from this Tiny, but he'll be caught. Tiny not stacking his spells for the extra damage, just staggering them to keep Blitz in place a little bit longer. And Blitz still has that meld, so he's going to hide there, but not going to be for long. And another free kill goes the way of JT Dota. Invoker rewarded for his efforts with the regen rune. Lust pushing top, but he might be in trouble if he walks into this. Oh, nice blink away. The avalanche has, you know, a fairly lengthy animation. It's easy to blink out of, so good job by Lust blinking out of that avalanche. Could have been caught there, and he wouldn't have known if there was someone else coming. Mikey just trying to capitalize on that farm. He's going for a Manta. He's almost got it. About 200 gold away from that Manta, so he'll have it in the next minute or so. Still holding that Aegis. He'll be a force to be reckoned with. As we see, not a lot of points up in Mana Break. A very defensive build from Mikey. Farming oriented. Oh, one-man black hole from Lust. They really want to get Tabako, and they will. Lust does not pay the price for it, as support rotates in for No Pants Party, and they're going to be able to chase this Tidebringer down. Tidehunter. Anti-mage with level 4 blink, you're just not going to escape from that. You're going to try to do a little bit of juking through fog, but there's nowhere to go as he's surrounded. Venom Ward blocks him momentarily, gives the vision for the telekinesis, and there's the easy kill on Tidehunter. It just seems that No Pants Party is just too much of a lead now. They get kills easily wherever they want. They have the items and the experience. A little bit of defensive measures here undertaken by the Invokers. Tornado EMP. We'll try to buy them sometime, but again, just the item advantage on NPP. They're not afraid. They're going to go for that tower. Wards being spammed out. Glyph forced out. JT's assembling a defense. But No Pants Party might back off here. They know that there's going to be 2 respawning soon. There is a Ravage up on Tide. No black hole up. Not for a couple of minutes, as it was used on that one-man kill earlier. So No Pants Party will just back off and extend their farm advantage. They've got an AM blinking around farming, so they're not in any rush to force a fight. They've got map control, although they did seed a gem. Was that gem ever returned? Yeah, the gem was returned. They got that the TA pick off earlier. I guess that's why they were so insistent, even using a black hole on him. So Frankie gets his gem back. He can go around dewarding. It's Eggum looking at a possible kill on Tabako here. That would not be advisable. He got over-aggressive before. Found himself surrounded by 4 Josh Tabak players. And he'll back off here, just spamming track to maintain some more map vision. But the Fade Bolt and the Demonic Conversions, they're looking to push again. They have an AM split pushing top, so they know they can force some TPs mid and give Mikey some room. Or they can just get free damage on the tower mid if they don't respond mid. Eggum will be scouting an invis. There is a dust up on Templar Assassin.